want to take a moment to thank everybody for coming here tonight to celebrate in the graduation of these graduate nurses from our program. I want to take a special thank you to the support we've had all year from our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. James Dexter, Nancy DiStefano, the Director of Instructional Programs, and the board members who have come here to watch with pride the results of all the hard work that these students, now graduates, have done the past 10 months. I especially want to thank my staff, starting with Kayla Fisk, our full-time instructor, April Cozy, our part-time lab and clinical instructor, and Paula Shuey, our second part-time lab and clinical instructor. I cannot say what a privilege it has been for me to work with them this past year. They are the epitome of what nurses should be. They are, I can't even say enough. They're just wonderful people. They're committed to the education and the learning of future nurses. They represent the highest ethical and moral standards in the field, and it has just been an absolute pleasure to have the support of them and their friendship this past 10 months. So I thank you. I cannot thank you. And a special thank you to the facilities that continue to support and help educate our program, including Adirondack Pediatrics, Fort Hudson Nursing Center, High Peaks Hospice and Palliative Care Agency, the Pediatric Associates of Glens Falls and Saratoga, both of their offices, the Pines of Glens Falls Nursing Center, and the Wesley Healthcare Center. Again, we have to continue to thank you for your ongoing support of this program and commitment to educating tomorrow's nurses. And thank you. And last but not least, I have to thank the graduate nurses. This would be the last time that I get to address them as a group. So I really couldn't resist the opportunity to say to them, if you turn to page 9 in your student handbook, oh, am I the only one that brought mine? It's not fair. All kidding aside, they have worked tirelessly these last 10 months. Their dedication, the hard work, the commitment, and just that core belief that they could do this. Because nursing truly is a calling, and it has just been an absolute pleasure to get to know each and every one of them and to watch them grow. It's great to see the friendships that have formed, the camaraderie in the classroom. Sometimes they relied on external friends like Wanda or Amber to get them through the studying group. Occasionally, they kind of delve into outside projects to enhance their learning. They all agree that the best ice cream place is in Saratoga Springs. I think they had a consensus on that. Hi, Tyler. I had to say that one last time to you, I'm sorry. But they really, really have worked very hard. As you know, like anytime they were home, downtime, they had their nose in the textbook. So I really just had to applaud them and their commitment and the pride. We can't describe the pride that we have for what they've done. So I just wanted to take that last minute to tell you guys. And I have to applaud everyone. So on that note, we will get this started, and I have the pleasure of introducing our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. James Dexter.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our practical nursing completion ceremony. And this is my end of my 8th year, beginning of my 9th year, and I am privileged to go to a number of completion ceremonies, but there's something about this one that's special. And I've tried to think a little bit over the years of why that is. And I think it's because, unlike so many of our other programs, these are individuals who said, I'm going to take a chance on myself. And who had family members, when they came to you and said, I'm going to take a chance on myself, I'm going to bet on myself, can you help me? And the family member said, sure, we're going to do this along with you. And that is incredibly impressive, both for the students and for all of you who are here this evening. I think that's the foundation of so much of who we are as a country and how we got to where we are. That we believed in ourselves. We always wanted something better for ourselves and our families, and we're willing to take a chance. And these men and women took a chance on themselves, their families, and their futures. And to me, that's incredibly exciting and incredibly inspiring. Before I have a few other remarks, I do have a couple guests. Diane mentioned we do have a few board members who are with us. Our board is composed of representatives from all of our region, and they work in many ways like a school board, and we're privileged. Some of them come to this ceremony every year. And we do have with us, it's a little, I can't see a lot out there because it's a little dark looking out, but I know we have our board president, Mr. John Rieger, over on the, John, you want to raise your hand? Lynn King, our board vice president, is right here. We also have Mr. David Petruska, one of our trustees. And Ms. Naomi Marsh, one of our trustees. And they're volunteers, and they really believe in our mission. That's why they do this, and they really believe in these students. And that's why they're here this evening. I don't have a long speech today, but I did want to talk a few things to the students. I know that coming back to school can be stressful and taxing. I also know, and we know, how hard it is to juggle all the responsibilities of your family. Many of you worked other jobs, you had to work through your clinicals, and go through this program. And so often, people say, well, how hard is a nursing program? Because a lot of times people say, I'm going to go back to school and be a nurse. And I'm sure many of you have learned this year, this is an incredibly difficult and rigorous program. And these students not only had to know physiology, anatomy, pharmaceuticals, I'm probably not using all the right terms, but you know, pharmacology, all of how to work with patients, how the right techniques, how to work with others, how to take orders, all the things that they had to do, and they had to learn it all in 1 year. It's a very demanding program, requires a huge commitment and to get through. And frankly, it's not a program that everyone gets through because it is so rigorous. And I know how hard it was for you to make that decision. But I want you to think a little bit about where you were a year ago and where you are now. And Diana was saying to me that just about everyone, or maybe everyone at this point, has been offered jobs. And some folks have options for certain bonuses or other things that the companies were doing. You have marketable skills. You are in the, everyone talks about the fields that are out there right now, the technology fields, the STEM fields, the highly competitive marketplace. And because of your efforts, you now exist in that highly competitive marketplace. And like all graduates of all programs, you still have to have a strong work ethic, show up on time, do all the things that you know about, but you've had to do that this program, and you've demonstrated your ability to do that. And it says to me that you are not only ready to be in this marketplace, but I think more importantly, you've shown the compassion to care in a professional manner for people who are ailing, or people who may be recovering, or people who may be in the latest stages of their lives. And that is really incredible work and important work. And you've clearly put yourself in that arena. And the last thing I'd like to do is thank all of the families. I know that probably there's a few times when maybe all the dishes didn't get done. Maybe one of the students had to study rather than maybe take some of the practice, or maybe they couldn't spend a Saturday with somebody because they had to get ready for a test or a quiz. And your understanding and your support of these students really make a big difference. And because of your efforts, they were so successful. So, like I said, I find this to be an inspiring event. I'm truly honored to have an opportunity to say a few remarks, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. And students, I truly wish nothing but the best for you, and I absolutely know, as Diana said, that you will do great things in your career and help many people. So thank you for coming tonight, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
I'm sure deep down you're just as excited that this is finally over as we are. I could go into great detail about all the memories we've created and the mental breakdowns we've shared. There was a lot of them. But I'm going to keep this short and sweet, mainly because we only rented this place for an hour. Standing in front of you are a group of men and women coming from all different walks in life. Some of us are mothers, some of us straight out of high school, some of us changing careers, and some of us just looking for something more. Regardless of the reasons we had to be here, our past led us all together for one greater reason, and no matter where we came from in our lives, we all shared something in common. We're all inspired to help others, to give back, and to make a difference. In our time together, we've laughed, and we've cried, and we've cried, and we've cried. We've helped each other through rough times when we just wanted to give up, and we've stood by each other, covered in strangers' bodily fluids, deciding if we should laugh or if we should just cry again. And believe me, it doesn't get any more intimate than that. And with the help of each other and the help of our instructors who never gave up on us, even when I'm sure they wanted to, and of course with the help of all of you, we've worked hard, studied hard, grown immensely, challenged ourselves, faced our fears, and made it here to celebrate the walk down this path in our lives and continue on our journeys. They say people enter our lives for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, and in my experience, I found that to be true. Most people are only one of those things, and very rarely do you find all three. Everyone you see standing together up here tonight, we are all three. We have all entered each other's lives for such a short time, for such a big reason, and the bonds that we have created while working towards this goal, whether we leave here tonight and speak all the time or never speak again, will always be there and be strong. And we could not be more honored to have you all here to celebrate the end of this season and the beginning of this amazing new adventure in our lives. Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to invite my instructors to stand. We're going to be presenting, some students have been selected for awards, which is a very difficult task. Everyone has worked so hard this year and has shown such tremendous growth, but we, in a time-honored nursing tradition, we did select some individual students for awards. The students are not aware of what awards they're receiving. So the first award is going to 3 students for perfect attendance. We are a clock hour program, full-time 10-month program, so this is a huge accomplishment for anybody. So our first awardee is Khalil Lavensberry. Next we have Marlena Seville. And finally, Megan Taylor. The next award is for students who exhibited clinical excellence in the clinical site. Again, this was a very challenging award to choose. We have so many strong students this year, which has been an absolute privilege and pleasure. But the two students we did select are Danielle Baldwin and Megan Taylor. Our next award is for leadership, and again, that was exhibited mostly in clinical, but then it's also students who just showed natural leadership abilities throughout the entire program. And our first awardee is Shelby Brayman. And Heidi Dickinson Allen. Our next award is for professionalism, which again is something for many students coming into a program. It's something that they grow into. Had two students who we felt exhibited this throughout the entire program. And our first awardee is Kara White. And our next is Tiffany Ziak. The final award is an award that is unique to nursing programs. It's the Florence Nightingale Award. And this goes to a student who, in general, has exhibited really the epitome of what you would imagine a nurse being. Tremendous growth, professionalism, kind of everything all rolled into one. And our awardee for this is Courtney Riendeau. Courtney's running away, but she's our next speaker. I'll give her a second to gather herself. And those are our awardees for this year.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Courtney Riendeau. Thank you all for being here tonight as we celebrate becoming graduate nurses. I am honored to be able to give this speech this evening on the values of nursing and what it means to me. Become a nurse, they said, and change the world through one random act of kindness at a time. Over the last 10 months, we have learned and embraced the core values of nursing. Sister Simone Roach stated, "There are 5 C's of nursing: commitment, conscience, competence, compassion, and confidence." This program has instilled all 5 of those in each and every one of us. One of the most important values of nursing is the ability to advocate for patients. Being the voice for a patient and standing up for what is right for that patient is what makes nursing so unique. Through our actions and our voice alone, we will be able to make sure that every patient that we come into contact with is taken care of, appropriately respected, and ensure that their needs are met efficiently. Altruism is the true selfless concern for others. It is the pure desire to help those in need. Nurses utilize this value every day in their career and in their community. They help others when they are in need without blinking an eye. They are steadily ready at any moment to be a helping hand, and this brings them joy, not from reward, but from knowing that they did everything they could possibly do to make someone's world brighter. Another important value is integrity. A nurse must be able to be honest, act honestly, and have good morals. At the end of the day, the nurse should be able to feel that he or she did their job honestly and to the best of their ability. The nurse should strive to gain rapport with their patients and families through trust and honesty. Through a holistic approach of care encompassing loyalty, respect, trust, and compassion, we can help bridge the gap between the many who need care and the few who are able to provide this care. It is holding the hands of a frightened child, celebrating a new life, easing the pain of a loss of a loved one, and going the extra mile every day to make sure that someone else's day is easier or better. Rossi Williams from Chamberlain University stated, "To do what no one else will do, a way that nobody else can do, in spite of all we go through, that is to be a nurse." May we all continue our journey, embracing the values of nursing with empathy and dignity, and never forget that your patients, whether young, elderly, healthy, or terminally ill, will always see their perception of us first. The first minute that you spend with a patient will determine their trust in you and how they feel about you. A patient may never remember your name, but they will always and forever remember how you made them feel. We are an intricate part of someone's life because we can make a difference and a change. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the Practical Nursing class of 2018.
So now we're up to the pinning ceremony. The pinning ceremony is a time-honored nursing school tradition. It signifies your official initiation into the brotherhood and sisterhood of nursing. It's actually considered in many nursing programs to be more important than the actual certificate itself. The history of this rite of passage can be traced all the way back to the Crusades in the 12th century, when the Knights of the Order of the Hospital of St. John tended to injured and infirm crusaders. When new monks were initiated into the order, they vowed to serve these sick soldiers in a ceremony where each monk was given a Maltese cross. The modern ceremony dates back to the 1860s, when Florence Nightingale was awarded the Red Cross of St. George in recognition for her tireless service to the injured. To share the honor, she in turn presented a medal of excellence to her brightest graduates. By 1916, this tradition was a practice for pinning all new graduates in all nursing schools across the United States. So at this time, I would like to invite our honored guests who the students have asked, graduates, I keep calling you guys students, sorry, who our graduates have asked to pin them up onto the stage, please.